In this property, there's mould in the corner where the bed is sited. The problem is that you've got the respiration next to the cold wall, and the airflow, the warm air currents have been blocked by the bed itself. Here I'm using a radio frequency damp meter to identify dampness. Generally speaking, 999 is a damp wall, and below 300 is dry.
So there's mould growing in the corner, particularly down there, but all the way up on the side of the curtain, and to a lesser extent over here. Be interesting to see if that's the north side. I think it probably is.
This neat app called Sunseeker shows us where north is. It's the blue vertical line, and it shows us the sun at different times of year. Basically, it's going to be very cold in the corner there. Relative humidity is a measure of both vapor in the air and air's capacity to hold vapor. The colder it is, the higher the relative humidity, until you reach 85%, which is the mould point when mould is at risk of growing if it's 85% for a prolonged period of time. 100% causes condensation, and that's where you're getting the dampness on the wall. With this thermal image, we can see blue is cold, red and orange are warmer, and some of the walls are very cold. I'm moving around into to demonstrate across the property the areas of heat loss. They tend to be in the eaves. Unfortunately, these old windows have a lot of heat loss in the metal surrounding the window, and you'll see there's a lot of mould that's on those windows.
The bed, that would help as a starting point.
Well, a really simple solution is to move the bed away from the cold wall. I mean, bays are always going to be at risk of heat loss and therefore mould, because you've got more heat loss in the corner, you've got greater external surface area, and you get the heat loss caused by that. I mean, my instincts, but I'm going to have a look at the outside, is that it's not caused by guttering or rainwater. It's just purely internal vapor, and it's made worse by this sectioned off area with curtain. As beautiful as it is causing part of the problem. Having the respiration, i.e. the head, in the cold corner is going to be worse. That's the north side of the property.
Okay.
So that's going to be even colder than the other side. But the fact that you're getting mould next to the head is not unsurprising, because that's where the vapor's being generated, about half a litre per person per day. But your doors are probably a little bit less, but even so, it's still a lot of vapor. Even though she's got a radiator here, that you won't get a lot of, you'll get a lot of heat coming, pluming up from the radiator, but it won't be benefiting the side very much. I'll show you some thermal images, and you can see where you're getting the heat loss, but it lines up totally with where the mould is. The other thing to be aware is allergies primarily result from allergic dust mites, and you get it in the same environment that you get mould. That's why people think that it's the mould that's causing the allergies, but it's actually the dust mites. And when you've got carpets, you're going to get more dust mites, because obviously they're colonising in the carpet and they're colonising the bed. I mean, simple solution is move the bed, and you probably get rid of most of the problem. But I'm going to give you a lot more additional recommendations. But even moving the bed out would help, because you can increase the airflow. You might think about changing the heat regime so that you're getting a little bit of heat during most of the day. Not presumably at the moment you have an on-off heating system. So that can make a big difference. We can think about insulation. I'll look on the outside, but I doubt that's the cause. We can look at obviously ventilation in the bathroom, potentially using the downstairs bathroom in the winter months, or at least for baths. I mean, there are other, and thinking about drying clothes internally. I notice your kitchen extractor fan doesn't duct out.
No,
so
it's rubbish.
So even though the vapor probably doesn't condense in the kitchen. Water vapor is lighter than oxygen and will tend to rise, so you're going to get worse problems on the top floor,
Right.
or at least, you know, what the generation of vapor downstairs is going to cause vapor to rise to the top floor.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll go through all the specific recommendations in the report, but that's the reason for it, and then how you go about it, I'll explain later.
Wonderful.
I had a look on the outside for defects. There are a few calcium sulfate crystals on the brickwork, which could cause a very slight dampness of external bricks, which reduces the insulating effect of walls and therefore reduces the temperature, marginally increasing the risk of mould and condensation, but it's very marginal and I wouldn't worry too much about it. Here are some additional thermal images across the remainder of the top floor. Insulation can be expensive, but targeted insulation can be relatively cheap and very effective.